This is Design Safe Radio, where natural hazards researchers strive to make our society more resilient to everything nature throws at us.
So you both got U.S. National Science Foundation support for this research, but the sign over your left shoulder, right shoulder, whichever shoulder that is, Tara, has a lot more acronyms on it, a lot more organizations and industry collaborators. How does that all come together? And what's the importance of those industry partnerships?
Well, it's industry and government partnerships, and it's completely impossible without them. And they're in many cases relationships that Tara and I had that go back decades prior to getting them involved in this, particular effort. So I'll speak just a little bit to the larger industry side, and then I'll let Tara talk about some of the government and specific industry partners. But just globally, the steel industry, and particularly the cold form steel industry, expressed an interest a couple decades ago of really working out the details and understanding what mid-rise cold form steel structure could look like. So something beyond 1 and 2 stories, right? And so they went on that journey and have been working and collaborating both in funded research, with engineering learning, the full gamut of things you need to do to expand your knowledge base and those that can take advantage of it. And we were part of that journey. So this does go back quite a long ways, and so we were motivated by that big picture desire and looking at our part of that of what we thought we could help. And then those same industry partners, supplied the steel, supplied a full-time engineer. Shout out to Lynn Paget of Clarkdeitrich Building Systems, who just worked with us for multiple years, so many meetings to actually provide an engineering design, in addition to all the academic work. And then so many other partners I'll let Tara dig into. But the idea of how many people it takes, I mean, even so I'm at Johns Hopkins University. Everyone thinks of this as a well-to-do rich place with, oh my goodness, so much money, they must be able to do anything they want. Their investment in my time and then my utilization of Hopkins resources to add extra students that not even funded by the project, extra undergraduates, et cetera. I mean, it just goes on and on. The commitment of the university to my research and then to this project. In addition to all the partners, it's staggering what it takes to make something of this scale happen, and I'm incredibly proud of the team that's come together to do it. But Tara's been living it every day, into day 270 on the site or something like that. So I'll let her
271,
271, right? So I'll let her speak to some of the key people that have really made a difference.
I'll just share a slide if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, for those who are just listening to this and not watching this on YouTube, this is why we have it. So
does it I don't know if it should.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Wow, that's a lot.
Okay. Right. So oh wait, how do I continue to share?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's not this is kind of what you'll get that little guy out of the way, but this is kind of what you'll see next week when we live stream this effort. You'll see all of the academic partners, doing the work across the board, and including obviously NIST, the big land firms. We're here at a NIST facility, and government sponsors, and springboarded by the National Science Foundation as a team here, Department of Housing and Urban Development, support from the California Seismic Safety Commission, NIST. So Department of Conservation through CGS's support, California Geological Survey, and some of those partnerships I mentioned when we talked about instrumentation. But what's great about this slide is that 3/5 of it, right, or 3 of the column, 60% of it, and a very densely packed industry partnership effort here. You see so many wonderful logos. If you just think about building a large structure, large full-scale structure like this, you need a general contractor. We had an amazing partnership with Clark Construction. They're internationally known, and they helped us with outreach and bringing on board, in addition to some of our partnerships, my partnerships locally and and others, but they really collected the talent of other subcontractors and trades partners to build panels, ship panels here, to work on site, work on panel installation, to bring a crane out, to get up that high, to bring miscellaneous metal guys out, to install windows. So we've got this just entity of construction partners, that came to bear. And then we've got the engineering side that was a precursor, of course, to all of the work on construction, but there's a tremendous team here, and on the structural side, load bearing side, I think Ben already mentioned the wonderful work of Clarkdeitrich and the load bearing design, and they should kind of be in both of the categories here because they supplied all of the cold form steel for the program. And then we had, let's say, seismic centric, engineers that work on strategic structural elements like cord studs and tie rods and things that really make these types of systems happen. Engineering design for all the non-structural systems and other elements. And then, when you put all these things together, you need materials and other things. You need 300,000 fasteners, would you believe, for this to happen. So we had Grabber, a partnership with Grabber, and fasteners distributed all over this building. Partnership with Hilti also to supplement the heavier load cases. So I wanted to at least show one slide. That was one I definitely wanted to pull up when you asked us that partnership question.
I'm again kind of mechanical engineer, so my mind always goes to things with engines in them. But like this reminds me of how you describe something like a Bugatti Veyron, and just mind-blowing amount of components and wildly large numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Bugatti Chiron of cold form steel buildings here.
We'll take it.
And it's interesting. I actually never thought to look up this of why Johns Hopkins University is named this, and this all just comes back to people believing in something that makes there's no ROI directly from this kind of investment. It takes a very long time, but it takes philanthropically minded people and government organizations to make this stuff happen. And the sign right behind your head there, Ben, was an entrepreneur back in the 19th century who set aside $7 million in his will to establish the first research university in the United States.
Yep, you got it right.
Yeah, and thank you, Google. But yeah, it's just kind of cool how the history of this goes. And if there are any billionaires listening that want to bequeath, some of that in their will to universities, they could sure use it and put it to good use. As we wrap this up, is there anything that I didn't ask either about cold form steel or your upcoming test that people should know?
Well, I just had one remark. We didn't touch on it too much, but it's probably a segue. If I understood you correctly, it'd be a segue into your next program, and that is that uniquely this particular program it's a multi-hazard study, and so you don't only have our team here working on teasing out the earthquake performance of a tall, lightweight, high fidelity building slice, but we have our partnership with Cal Poly San Luis Obispo coming in, let's say taking over the space when we release it to them to conduct live fire testing scenarios backed with Johns Hopkins high fidelity modeling crew looking at structural fire distribution. And so and then we have a unique collaboration with the fire experts and San Diego Fire Department, as well as even firefighter training opportunities that are going to be undertaken. So we're really, I would just leave your audience with that segue. And I understood, Daniel, from you that you're outreaching to those partners, those team members of ours to try to share as well and have a podcast on that topic as well.
Yeah, that'll be.
I don't know if I stole your thunder on that, but I had that in my notes at least.
Yeah, it's always good to have a teaser, a little bit of a cliffhanger.
And Dan, the one thought I wanted to add. So we talked about this building. It's using American steel from American companies to have an innovation that would go into American codes. to allow us to have lightweight, better performing, resilient American buildings. But if you look underneath the hood of who it's taken to make this happen, you can look at the builders, you can look at the research team. It is a collaboration from all over the world. We have on the team folks that have chosen to dedicate sometimes 10 years of their life leaving a country to come here to work with Tara, myself, or others to make something like this happen for American innovations. And I am so proud of that group of people.
Yeah, well said. And we could spend another hour talking about that, and it would not be a wasted hour. We probably should at some point, actually, thinking about that. Somewhere we should put how many different countries are represented both through the
logo. It's a similar logo page, if you're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, it could be similar to that slide that you showed. I mean, goodness, we've got people from Iran, we've got people from India, Pakistan. I don't even know.
Afghanistan, China, the international scholar contribution and design contribution, and even on the materials side. I mean, every day it's a very colorful and enriched opportunity for sure. And
yeah, just some of the most excellent humans you'd ever have the privilege to meet and work with.
And you can't accomplish these types of global advancements without. That goes without saying, in our opinion. It sounds like,
I think we get the opportunity to say it out loud now instead of just assuming that it goes without saying.
That's why I mentioned it's important for us all to remember what all it takes. Yes, all the funding and all of the government involvement, but it's actually been a worldwide commitment to American innovation. Let's keep it.
Yep. I agree, and that's a great place to land the plane as we hopefully see some fun planes landing in the nice weather out there as you're going into your testing. I really appreciate the time. I know you've got a to-do list 1.5 miles long. Best of luck on everything, and looking forward to see how it goes.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Design Safe Radio. Be sure to like and subscribe on whatever platform you happen to be listening to this on. It really helps people find our show. Thanks to our amazing sponsors, the National Science Foundation and the NIST Network Coordination Office, which is award number 2129782. Big thank you to Marty LaChance, our guest booker and topic researcher extraordinaire, and Raquel Ruiz, who is our video and audio editor. I'm your host and NIST Facility Scheduling and Operations Coordinator, Dan Zahner. We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay resilient.